Last night, my wife and I had a minor disagreement. She wanted to go to a party her friends had been planning for weeks. I felt uneasy about it and told her directly that I didn't want her to go, not out of a desire to control her, but because something about it just didn't sit right with me. She dismissed my concern, calling me overprotective. In the end, she got dressed and left without saying much more. I stayed behind in the living room, staring at the clock as time slowly passed. Doubts filled my mind, and I kept wondering what could be so important at that party that she would disregard my feelings. I didn't reach out to her. I stayed silent, letting my disappointment hang in the air. When she finally came home, it was nearly 2 a.m. She walked in casually, smelling of perfume and alcohol, her laughter still lingering from the car ride with friends. I glanced at her but said nothing. She noticed my silence but didn't try to explain. She went straight to bed. That night, sleep eluded me. My thoughts kept racing. I felt overlooked, dismissed, and unappreciated. If she didn't take my concerns seriously, what did that say about our marriage? Still, I stayed quiet, choosing not to start an argument. Morning arrived, and I assumed she would act as if nothing had happened. To my surprise, she was up early, making breakfast. I sat at the table, watching her move around the kitchen quietly. She looked tired, almost remorseful. When she finally sat down, she avoided meeting my eyes. For the first time, I noticed hesitation in her. She began speaking softly, saying she realized last night that she had been selfish. She admitted that while the party seemed important to her in the moment, dismissing my feelings was wrong. Her voice faltered as she continued, explaining that even surrounded by friends, she felt empty. The laughter, music, and fun hadn't brought her joy, because deep down she knew she had hurt me. That guilt stayed with her all night, and she couldn't ignore it any longer. I listened quietly as she spoke. She apologized, not only for going to the party, but for making me feel like my voice didn't matter in our relationship. It was the first time in a long while that she had spoken with such openness and honesty. I could tell she truly meant it. Still, I didn't forgive her immediately. I told her that actions would speak louder than words. Respect in marriage wasn't just about love, it was about valuing each other's feelings, even when we disagreed. She nodded, tears welling in her eyes. She promised to change, to consider us rather than only herself. For the first time, I felt she understood the meaning behind my silence the night before. It wasn't anger, it was disappointment. That morning, as we shared breakfast, the tension slowly eased. It wasn't a complete resolution, but it was progress. My wife realized that trust and respect couldn't be set aside for temporary enjoyment. In the days that followed, I noticed her effort. She began including me in her plans, seeking my opinion, and making sure our decisions were shared. It wasn't about control. It was about balance and mutual respect. Looking back, that night could have driven a wedge between us. Instead, it became a gateway to better communication. My silence had conveyed more than anger ever could. The next morning, the surprise was seeing her finally understand what our marriage truly required: mutual respect. That morning, instead of fighting, we spoke honestly. She admitted she was wrong to ignore my feelings and explained how empty the party had felt without my presence. Her apology was genuine, and for the first time, I felt she truly grasped that marriage isn't about winning arguments, but about valuing each other's emotions. I accepted her apology while reminding her that respect must always come first. She promised to be more thoughtful, and I promised to trust her more. In that moment, our silence transformed into understanding, and the distance from the night before faded. We chose reconciliation over bitterness, and it made our bond stronger than before.